I'm going to show you how to work a provisional cast on using a crochet hook, waste yarn, and a knitting needle. The first thing is to create a slip knot using your waste yarn and place it onto the crochet hook. I'll tighten it up a little bit, but not too much. Then I'm going to pick up my knitting needle and I will hold the yarn in my left hand the way that I normally hold my yarn while knitting or crocheting, and then I'll hold the knitting needle also in my left hand and my crochet hook in my right hand. So the next thing that I want to do is make sure that the yarn is behind the knitting needle, and then I will draw a loop. So I'm placing the yarn over top of the crochet hook and drawing it through the loop that's already on my needle. Then I move the yarn back. Just going to get that out of the way. I move the yarn back behind the knitting needle and repeat. So I repeat this until I have the number of stitches that I want. I like to use my thumb just to push the yarn behind the knitting needle. Push it behind, draw through, push behind, and draw through. So once I have the number of stitches that I'd like to have, then I just create a crochet chain to indicate that this is the end that I'm going to pull from when I'm all finished. So in order to do that, I do what I was doing before, but without putting the yarn behind the knitting needle. So I'm just drawing loops through. Once I have a chain that's pretty obvious, I'll break the yarn, leaving about 6 inches there, and then just pull on that loop until it comes all the way through, and that'll close it. So then I have finished my provisional cast on, and I'll knit a few rows and show you how to pull the provisional cast on out, because it's pretty magical how it sort of just zips out. So this is how I join my working yarn as well. I just kind of bring it in there, pull the first one through, and that first stitch is likely to be a little bit loose, but I can just go back later and kind of give it a tug. Okay. And I'll work just one more row, and then I'll show you how I remove the provisional cast on. Give that one a tug again. Okay, so now, once I've finished my knitting and I'm ready to remove the provisional cast on, I just have to go back to that crochet chain and undo that final one. So it creates a little open loop there. And then I just tug on the crochet chain, and when I get to an actual stitch, I like to take my knitting needle. I'll usually have a different one than the one I was working with, but I'll just insert it into that stitch so that when I pull on the crochet chain, it just appears onto my knitting needle. I can do that again here. Just place that on there, pull, place that next one onto my knitting needle and pull it out, and so forth. And then when I'm all finished, that last one, you can just pull that waste yarn completely on out of there. It's a little tangled here. And then I end up with provisional stitches and live stitches. And that's it.